So we're gonna just continue on our discussion about who is Jesus. So the first episode that you saw basically was the whole introduction of the story that we're gonna continue to be doing on the Who is Jesus series that we're beginning. So we're coming back to how society views or imagines God, Jesus, and what our faith really stands on. So today we're going to be talking about God now. So if you even look at a picture or even view pictures of how they view God, in his holiness, and why people view him in such a manner it'll be really challenging. So I'm just a recent article from the Pew Research Center, and it states that 1/3 of the U.S. adults believe in a higher power of some kind, but not in God described in the Bible. So basically, here, what you have here is there are 56 who believe. I don't know if they're talking about U.S. adults. I don't know if maybe it could be incorrect or not, but they said 56% believe in God as described in the Bible. Yes, AD 23 believed in other higher power or spiritual forces. And then there's some 90% that believe in higher power spiritual forces. So that all concludes to the 33. As I said earlier, the 33 who believe in other. So 50%, 50% believe in God described in the Bible, while 33% believe in some higher power, spiritual forces, while 10% basically do not believe in any higher power or spiritual forces. So we have some staggering numbers here. So we look in here in America, 42%, not 40, 14% Christians, combining of Catholics, mainland Protestants, evangelical Protestants, black Protestants, and other Christians. While that's 14%, while there's a staggering amount of people who do not believe in anything, they don't know, they don't believe. There's 35% who don't believe in anything. There's 24% of atheists, and there's 15% of agnostics, and there's 14% of Christians, as I said earlier, and other faiths have 10%, while others they don't really dive into it. And so, in history, I'm just going to give you a little synopsis of what history began with this idea. So, for us as Christians, what I'm going to discuss about this, we believe that God created the whole world. Right? That is the number one belief right there. We believe that God created the whole world. Now, think this into your mind. Do you think the devil wants your children to believe that God created the whole world? Does he? He doesn't. So what he's going to do is to plant this seed of division in a case where people are going to be forced to learn that God did not create the whole world, and he's going to brainwash people, children who are growing up, that the world was not created by God, but the world was created through a whole, what they call it as a Big Bang theory. But we're going to get to that in a moment. We're going to talk about the science. We're going to talk about science, and we're going to talk about, and this is all combined together about who is Jesus. So I want us to understand. So we're going to get some sources that are not really Christian, and we're going to combine. We're going to show you guys what the world basically is saying about the existence of God and Jesus and all together. But we're going to have some sources that are going to tell you otherwise. So it says here, so there are many who affiliate themselves to be Christians, and there are many who don't even believe in Christianity. There's some who consider themselves Catholic, and others, and you have Judaism, we have Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism. Now, the fact with the science is that they believe, what they believe in this science is that the whole world was created in billions and billions of years. Now, I don't know where they got the word billions from. I don't know where they got that from, but they said that the world was created through, it was not like a whole 7-day process as we know it said in the Bible, but the world was created in a more of a yearly thing, billions of years, atom, matter combined together, and then I forgot myself. They combined together and they made this whole boom. That's where you get the Big Bang from, and then everything just came to be. And they even said that the universe, the earth, not the universe, the earth was, in fact, basically a living hell, because it was all magma, volcanoes. It was nothing. It looked like the sun as we know it today. So that's what the scientists believe, that the earth wasn't, in fact, just what we see, what we're living in right now, but they believe it was just a boat of volcanoes and ashes, and no one can even live, in the earth at that time, because the earth was not breathable. It was all filthy gases and lava and so on and so forth. And it even comes down to also the fact with human beings. Of course, we know this, that they talk about that human beings were created, not even created, but somehow just evolved. And not only human beings, they say, evolved, but also animals evolved. They were not created, they were just evolved. But this is the thing that it's just so funny, but this is how really stupid they come along with this idea of evolution. Because if human beings evolved, so they basically said that human beings evolved from apes, monkeys, right? So if human beings evolved from monkeys, this is the question I want you to answer me right now. If human beings evolved from monkeys, then where did the monkeys came from? So where did the monkeys evolve from? Because you're saying that human beings evolved from apes, then this is the question: where did the apes evolve from? And if they say that dogs, they say that some of the animals, the giraffes, the elephants, they evolved from creatures of old. So if they evolved from the creatures, so elephants, let's just say, for example, elephants evolved from mammals. Then which creature did the mammoth evolve from? You understand my point? So that is where they're getting all this whole idea of evolution, and basically it makes no sense. And I wonder why. And and it's the thing, if it is a theory, then why is it that they're being forced upon to learn this idea? You understand? They're forced upon this idea of teaching our children about this evolution, which makes no sense. Just to say this, doesn't make sense. You're saying that a person was originally a Neanderthal. I don't know what I think that's what they called it, an ape. If a human being was an ape, then who made it? Then where did the ape evolve from? I don't even think any scientist can answer that question. So that is what this whole the evolution believes. They evolve, and they also believe that humans. They believe that human beings evolved over time due to the process of natural selection. And what they believe is that God or a higher power had no role in this process. So not only do they believe that human beings evolved over time, but that they believe that God or any higher power had no role in this process at all. That is in their own doctrine. And so others, you see that they, they go on with this idea, and it talks about, that's what they believe. Now, this is what we as Christians, we know, we believe, all right? So, we know from the beginning, the Bible says, Genesis chapter 1, in the beginning, God. Notice it begins with God. It then says anything about no one, because how is it that, so basically, this is what evolution scientists need to get into their hands. So the whole universe, so it's like basically what evolution thinking is this. It's basically saying that you have a paintbrush and you have a paintbrush and you have a white paper, right? And you have the paintbrush, you have the paint there, and you have the white paper there. So this is what evolution is. This is what evolution is like. It's like you having a white paper and you having a the paint and the paintbrush right there. So magically, does it make sense that automatically, magically, over time, that paintbrush on that ground, whatever magic or sorcery, whatever it is going to make that paintbrush on the ground is automatically just going to splash on top of the paintbrush? Because that is what evolution is thinking. And this is what they're teaching. They said that nothing can, what they're saying is that nothing can create something, which is foolishness. Unless you have a person to take up the paintbrush and to paint whatever he wants to paint, unless you have a creator. Because you see all what you see today, the sky, the clouds, unless someone like an artist can just take up his paint and his paintbrush and he can just paint that beautiful scenery, unless a creator can do something like that. What is the possibility of evolution thinking? Just reasoning in your head how the devil uses his tactics for making people to believe in the existence of God. Just understand his tactics. We're going to get deeper into this whole thinking, because that's one of his main tactics. We read in Genesis chapter 1 that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. He created the heavens and he created the earth. The earth, and God did not just do it in a whole yearly thing. The Bible says he did it in 7 days. Not 7,000 years, but 7 days. And he created it in an orderly and fashionable way. And that's how we are here today, to see this beautiful creation as it is. Now, it's funny how it even talks, if you read the verses from the Bible, it talks about God creating this world, the heavens, the stars. He created everything, right? And also, bring up with science. The Bible talks about the earth being a sphere in Isaiah chapter 40, verse 22. It talks about the innumerable stars, Jeremiah chapter 33, verse 22. It talks about the air has weight in Job chapter 28, verse 25. It talks about each star is different. It talks about that in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 41. It talks about how light moves in Job chapter 38, verse 19 to 20. It talks about the free float of the earth in space in Job chapter 26, verse 7. It talks about how the wind blows in a cyclone in Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 6.